Good morning students, myself Venkatesh, Department of CSE. Now in this class we are going to study about memory management concept. In this memory management concept we are going to study about partitioning policies and what are the various partitioning policies and fragmentation, what is internal fragmentation, what is external fragmentation, and what is pacing, all those things we are going to study in this class. In previous class we have studied about what is a memory management functions, what is a memory management, what are the various functions of memory management, what is a fence address, why it needs fence address, and at the same time what is memory management unit, and also we have studied about swapping. So what is a swapping and what are the various memory management techniques like continuous and non-continuous, and what are the various partitioning types, that is MVT and MFT. Okay, all those things we have studied in previous class. In this class we are going to focus on the partitioning concept, various partitioning allocation algorithms, or we can say partition allocation policies. Okay, where this partitioning is concerned, there are different policies or algorithms that are followed by allocating memory partition to a process. Okay, so for example, if you take a different process or one process, how we are going to allocate those one process or multiple processes to a memory. Okay, for that one we are going to use different partition techniques. Okay, see, for example, if we have 5 processes, there is one memory. How each and every process will have some storage area, how those 5 processes is going to be allocated in memory. Okay, so those how we are going to partitioning. Okay, those in order to partitioning those processes to a memory, here we are going to use different techniques or different policies, or we can say algorithms. Okay, so those are majorly 3 things, that is first bit, best fit, and worst fit. First, best, worst, fit. So these 3 are the major thing, and the next one is next fit. Okay, totally 4 things are there, 4 policies: first fit, best fit, and a worst fit, and next one is next fit. Here what is the first fit? Okay, so first fit is nothing but it allocates the process in the first free large enough partitioning. Okay, so if we have some processes and one memory location, how we are going to allocate those processes by using the first fit means it allocates the processes in the first, here you should note this point, first free large enough partitioning. Okay, first we are going to check first free large. Okay, enough partitioning. Here enough partitioning means for storing a particular process size. For example, if a process has 200 size, but we have 100 memory location only, we can't insert, we can't store. Okay, so for that one we are going to check first free large enough, whereas in the best fit, in this case we are going to allocate the processes in the smallest possible memory partition, whereas in the worst fit it searches for the largest possible memory partition. Whereas in next fit it is exactly same as the first fit, but it does not start from the first position, it starts from the place where the last partitioning ended. Okay, we can say first searching than first fit. Okay, so how these 3 policies we are going to implement means, here we have one example. By seeing this example we are going to know how the processes are allocated in a memory. Okay, here there are 5 partitions. Okay, 5 partitions means 5 processes, that is 5 processes, 4 processes and 5 partitions. Okay, so there is a memory. For that memory we are going to allocate those memory in different partitions. Those partitions are 5. So first one is 100k, 500k, 200k, 300k, 600k. Okay, so all these processes memory partitions are in order. Okay, so if you see here 100, 500, 200, 300 and 600. Okay, so all these five memory partitions are in order only. How would each of first fit, best fit, worst fit algorithm place of processes of P1, P2, P3, P4 in order? Okay, here the thing is there are four processes are there. P1 of size 212 KB, P2 of size 417 KB, P3 of size 112 KB, P4 of size 426 KB. Okay, so in order, but memory locations are order in order only 100, 500, 200, 300, 600. Okay, so how we are going to keep all these four processes in a memory location? Okay, that is if this five partitions by using first, best and worst. Okay, so this is the first case, this is the first fit, second one is the best fit, third one is the worst fit. Okay, see here how what is the concept of first fit? Okay, so first fit means we are going to set first free large enough partition. So in order to store the process P1 into the memory partition by using the first fit means here 212 P1 has 212. Okay, here first one is 100, we can't store 212, so next one is 500. Okay, so according to first fit, what it is saying, first free large enough, so P1 is first free large enough. Okay, so we are going to store a P1 in 500 KB. Okay, why? Because process P1 has 212 KB, here space is 500 KB, so we can insert. Okay, P1 is over. Okay, next one is, next process is P2, so P2 means 417. Okay, 417 KB. Okay, so next to largest enough partition is, next after 500 we have 200, we can't insert. Next 300 we can't insert. Next we have 600, so we can insert a P2 process that is size 417 in 600. So in 600 KB we are going to store P2. Okay, P1 over, P2 over, that is 600 over, 500 over. So next one is P3, 112. Okay, we have only 100 here. First initially 100 is not insert. We are not inserting in the 100. Why? Because process P3 size is 112. So next one is 500 is already allocated by P1. Next one is 200. So this is next to free large enough. Okay, so we can insert P3 in 200 KB. Okay, why? Because P3 we have 112. So 200 it is enough. Okay, we are going to insert in P3. Okay, so here P1 over, P1 is 500, we are going to insert P1 in 500, P2 in 600, P3 in 200. Okay, next we have empty partitions are 100 and 300. See, what about P4? P4 is 426. So 426 means by using the first fit, we are going to set first free large enough. We can't insert P4 in 100. That is why, because it is 426 size, but here only 100, we can't insert. Next free is 300, we can't insert. So P4 will not get allocated by using the first fit. Okay, next win, whereas best fit. Okay, whereas in this best fit concept, same thing, there are four processes, five partitions. What is the concept of best fit? Smallest possible memory partition. We are going to allocate in smallest possible memory allocation. See, in P1, okay, P1, what is the process size P1? 212. Okay, 212. Okay, here thus concept is by using the best fit, we are going to search the smallest possible memory partition. We are going to search the smallest one. Okay, smallest one means in order to store the P1 212, so here smallest is 300. So we are going to store process P1 in 300. So next smallest is 4 P2, that is 417. So we are going to store 417 P2 in 500. This is the next smallest only. So next smallest is smallest possible memory location P3. P3 is 112. So 112 where we are going to insert, that is in 200. Okay, 200 is the next to possible memory location. Next one is P4. P4 means 426. Process P4 that is 426, where we are going to use smallest possible is next to smallest possible memory is 400. So in the 400 we are going to store P4. Okay, like this we are going to performing the best fit. Okay, next one is worst fit. In the worst fit we are going to search as the first largest possible memory partition. Largest possible means first we have process P1 is 212. Okay, whereas coming to largest means what is the largest memory partition? 600. In that one we are going to store P1. Why? Because for P1 we have 212. So first largest is P1. So next largest is P2. So P2 next largest is 500. So what is the P2? 417. We can easily insert. So next largest is 600 is over, 500 is over. Next largest is 300. Which process we are going to insert? P1 is over, P2 is over. Next one is P3. We can insert 112. Actually, the size of the process is P3 is 112. Here next largest is P3 simply. So next largest is for 600 over, 500 over, 300 over. Next largest is 200. But we have one process P4. The size is 426. We can't insert 426 into the partition 200K. Okay. So here in this case also P4 will not get allocated. Okay. So this is the one example how we are going to insert our processes into the different memory partitions by using the first fit, a best fit and as well as worst fit. Okay, so how we are going to implement first fit, a best fit and worst fit. Okay, right. So next concept is fragmentation. See what is meant by fragmentation? Simply we can say fragmentation is nothing but loss of memory. Okay, if we lose some memory, then we can say simply fragmentation. So where we are going to lose the memory? So when it when we are going to come across the loss of memory. Okay, generally we can say fragmentation of two types. That is we can say internal fragmentation or external fragmentation. Okay, suppose we have operating system and 5 partitions sizes here: 80 KB, 150 KB, 280 KB, 300 KB, 100 KB. Processes are come saved in the partitions. Okay, that is 80 KB, 80, 150 and 280, 300 and 100. Okay, if the process come it will store in the different partitions. Okay, for example we have process P1 of size 130. Okay, here process P1 has size 130. Okay, see here process P1 initial partition is 80. We can't insert process P1 in 80. Okay, next partition is 150. We can insert 130 in 150. Okay, why? Because this process P1 has 130 size 130 KB. We can't insert anyway, we can't insert in 80 KB. So next partition is 150. So simply we can insert the process P1 in 150. Okay, but here almost all 20 KB of memory is wasted. Why? Because the partition size is 150 KB. We are going to store the process P1 of size 130. So here 20 KB of memory is wasted. So this type of wastage of memory is nothing but internal fragmentation. Okay, this type of wastage we can call it as a internal fragmentation. Okay, whereas in this so next one is here process P2. In this one process P2 will have 280 KB. Okay, so here memory also 280 KB. In P3 300 KB. Here P3 also 300 KB. Okay, so process P1 130, P2 280, P3 200. Okay, here this is example for internal fragmentation. Internal fragmentation means if we lose some memory. Okay, here in this case we are going to waste 20 KB of memory. So we can say it is a internal fragmentation. In the for process P1 we are going to waste 20 KB of memory. Okay, so we can say it is a internal fragmentation. Okay, so what is meant by external fragmentation? See, external fragmentation means simply one thing. Okay, here there is one more process P4. P4 of size 180. Okay, so already P1 is completed, P2 is allocated, P3 is allocated. Okay, P1 is 150. Of course, even though P1 here wasting 20 KB, that is one thing. P2 has size 280. Okay, that is over. P3 is 300. That is over. P1, P2, P3 is over. If you take the user area, how much total memory we have? 80 KB and 100 KB. But there is one process P4 of size 180 KB. P4 of size 180 KB. Okay. Even though we have total 180 KB of memory, we can't insert the process P4 into the user area. Why? Because this 180, this 80 plus 100, 180 area should not be in continuous manner, that is in different, that is here we have 180, here also we have 100. Okay, so it is two different locations, two different partitions. We can't insert the process P4 in two different areas, two different partitions. Okay, even though we have memory of 180, we can't insert P4. Okay, so this type of fragmentation we can call it as a external fragmentation. Okay, this type of what is meant by external fragmentation? So external fragmentation is nothing but, even though we have memory, even though we have sufficient memory, okay, but we can't insert our process into the memory. So this type of fragmentation we can call it as a external fragmentation. The one solution to the fragmentation is compaction. Okay, see what is meant by compaction? Place all the free memory partition together. That means if you keep the 80 KB and 100 KB in one place, that means if you combine 80 and 180, 80 and 100, then we can insert the partition P4. Okay, to prevent from external fragmentation, we have to use the concept of compaction. Okay, so the solution for the fragmentation is compaction. So what is meant by compaction? Placing all free memory partition together. Okay, in this case we are going to place all free, that is 80 plus 100. Okay, we should be partition together, then only we can insert the process P4. Okay, this is the solution for fragmentation. Fragmentation means it is a special external fragmentation. Okay, so internal fragmentation arises when a process size smaller that allocated partition is placed in that partition that leaves behind some amount of unused memory. Okay, so in the case of internal fragmentation, we are going to lose some memory. Okay, whereas external fragmentation arises when unable to accommodate a process of size, even we have sufficient size of memory, but it is not in continuous. Okay, so next one is paging. Next concept is paging. See what is meant by paging. Okay, so paging is the concept of non-continuous memory allocation. Okay, so it is the concept, one of the concept of non-continuous memory allocation. Simply we can say it is a virtual memory. Okay, so in this one, physical address space of your process to be, it is to be a non-continuous. So in this, majorly in this paging concept, logical address space is divided into equal size pages, whereas physical space is divided into equal size frames. Okay, you should know this one. So here logical address is divided into pages, whereas physical address, see in left hand side we have logical address space. So the logical address space is divided into pages, whereas in physical address space we have right hand side in the diagram. So physical address space is divided into equal size pages. Okay, here the page size is equal to one frame, that is one page is equal to one frame. Okay, that is one page is equal to one frame. So one page is going to be mapped with one frame. Okay, so here this is the logical address space, this is the physical address space. Okay, so here logical address space means pages, physical address space means frames. Okay, so this is the logical address space, so this is the physical address space. Okay, so here logical address space is divided into pages, physical address space is divided into frames, then there is a mapping in between logical address space and a physical address space. That mapping we can call it as a page map table, that maps the which page number is stored in which frame. Okay, see here this is the logical address space, so we are going to divide the logical address space into pages. Okay, here physical address space is nothing but frames. Okay, where we are going to store these pages in frames means we are going to implement with the help of the page map table. Okay, so here in between this logical and physical we have page map table. In this page map table, what is the purpose of page map table? The page map table that maps which page number should be stored in which frame. Okay, in the physical memory. Okay, hardware architecture of paging. So what is the hardware architecture of paging? Okay, here hardware architecture of the paging. Here in this one, the CPU, you have CPU. As we know, CPU generated logical address which is divided into two parts, that is page number and offset. Here D is the offset. Okay, so CPU generated address is in previous we have studied CPU generated address is logical address. So this logical address is going to be divided into two parts, that is here page number, here P is the page number, D is the offset. Okay, then page number is checked in the page map table. Okay, here page map table we have page number and frames. Okay, here frames and offset. Okay, here frames and offset, here pages and offset. In the page map table we have pages and frames, pages and frames. Why? Because the purpose of page map table is here the pages which page is mapped in which frame. So which page is mapped in which frame. So for that one only, in page map table we are going to store pages. P is for pages, F is for frames. P is for pages, F is for frames. Then here what will happen is the page number is checked in the page map table. The page map table where there is an entry of page number and corresponding frame number. Okay, page number, here page number P in the page map table, P is nothing but page map table page number, F is for frame. Okay, corresponding frame number. Then from this corresponding frame number is find out. Okay, see here simple thing is, here we have page map table. In this page map table we have pages and frames. Okay, so here the CPU generated address will have pages, okay, that are stored in the page map table. Okay, if there is one page, okay, by using this page map table, where we are going to store that page, that means where in which frame we are going to store that page that are present in the page map table. Okay, here simply the CPU generated address, logical address. Of course, logical address is divided into two parts, that is page number and offset. Okay, here physical address space is divided into two parts, that is frame number and offset. Okay, here offset is common, but here left side is pages, right side is frames. How these pages should be mapped into the frames. Okay, which page which page is going to be mapped into the which frame, that should be done with the help of the page map table. Okay, so this is the architecture of the paging concept. Okay, here in this paging concept we have paging with TLB. Okay, that is translation look aside buffer. See what is meant by TLB. Actually TLB is a hardware cache memory that contains few table entries. Okay, in translation look aside buffer, that is in TLB, we have only few table entries. Okay, we have only few table entries, we don't have all the entries. Okay, as in this concept also we have page map table along with TLB. Okay, page map table along with TLB. Okay, but what is the use of TLB? What is the page map table? In page map table we have all entries, whereas in translation look aside buffer TLB we have only few entries. Here what will happen is, if first thing we are going to check in the TLB. Okay, if first we are going to check in the TLB. Okay, if our page number present in TLB, then we can say it is TLB hit. We can say it is TLB hit. If it is not present in the TLB, definitely that corresponding page number frame will be available in the page map table. Then we can say it is TLB miss. Okay, so TLB miss means the corresponding, if the corresponding frame number of a corresponding page will not be available in the TLB table. Okay, then we can call it as a TLB hit. Okay, here two terms are TLB hit, TLB miss. So what is meant by TLB hit? TLB hit means here we have TLB table, page map table. See what this TLB table will have. In this TLB table we have only few page numbers and frame numbers. Okay, first of all what we are going to check, First we are going to check the corresponding page number frame in the TLB. If it is there na, then what will happen? We can say it is a TLB hit. Okay, that corresponding frame corresponding page will be mapped into the corresponding frame number. If it is not present in the TLB, then we can say it is TLB miss. What is meant by TLB miss? If I have one page number, that page's corresponding frame should not be available in the TLB. Okay, so what happened? We are going to search the page number of corresponding frame in the page map table. Okay, if it is there in the TLB, okay, corresponding frame of a particular page, okay, then we can call it as a TLB. If for a page corresponding frame is available in the TLB, then we can call it as a TLB hit. If it is not, we can call it as a TLB miss. Okay, in the case of TLB miss, definitely in the page map table we have a frame of a particular process. Why? Because in page map table we have all entries of a pages with corresponding frame numbers, but in TLB we have only few. Okay, so this is the concept of TLB hit and TLB miss. Okay, next one is memory protection in paging. See, what is meant by memory protection in paging? Okay, in order to achieve the memory protection in paging, we are going to use bits which is associated with each frame. Okay, these bits are maintained in page table. Okay, page table we are going to maintain bits. So during finding frame number in the page table, protection bits are also checked. Okay, here left side we have pages. Okay, logical address space is divided into pages. Right side we have frames. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are all the frames. So page 0, page 1, page 2, these are all the pages. Okay, the thing is we are going to map the pages with the right side frame numbers with the help of the page table. Here if you see the left hand side, page 0, the page 0 should be mapped in the frame 2. If you see the right hand side, here 2, 0, 1, 2, in 2 we have page 0, that means in frame 2 we have page 0, in frame 2 we have page 0. Okay, so here in frame 2 we have page 0, that means here these are the pages, 0 page are present in frame 2. Okay, so it is valid. Okay, if you see the center page map table, here this is the frame numbers, 2 is the frame number, 0 is the pages. Okay, if it is present now, valid. If it is not present, invalid. So if we see left hand side, page 1, if we see the right hand side, complete right hand side, where the page 1 is, in which frame? Frame 3. Okay, frame 3 we have page 1. Okay, see here in the center page map table, frame 3 we have page 1, so it is also valid. Okay, next one, page 2. Here page 2, left side page 2, in which frame it is allocated? Page frame 4, page 2 frame 4. Okay, so frame 4, so page 2 here in the middle page map table, frame 4 page 2. Okay, so it is valid. So here V means valid, I means invalid. In the page map table, V means valid, I means invalid. Okay, so here if you see the page map table, we have in the page map table frame numbers along with page numbers. Here 0 in the center page map table, 0. So from top to bottom, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the page numbers. So in box 2, 3, 4, 7, these are the corresponding frame numbers. If it is present, then we can say it is valid V. If it is not present, then valid I. Okay, invalid. We can say it is invalid. Okay, so in this way we are going to provide the memory protection in paging. Okay, so this is the memory protection concept in paging. Okay, so simply what is meant by paging? Okay, so paging is nothing but mapping the pages with frames, mapping the pages with frames. Okay, in the left hand side we have address, logical address is divided into pages. In the physical and right hand side we have physical address. We are going to divide it as a page frames. Okay, we are going to map the pages into the frames. Okay,